There are times when life throws us a curveball and that can potentially set us back for years, and it will be too late by the time you realize it, which is why in this video I will be sharing with you 5 financial mistakes which are usually emotionally driven so that you can avoid making them. Before we begin, a quick tap of the like button below will be very appreciated. Thank you for that. And without further ado, let's get started. The first mistake that probably a lot of us are guilty of pursuing will be trying to get rich quick. And it is exactly for that reason there are a lot of products or people out there that are taking advantage of people with these mindsets. And one of the infamous money game scams a few years back is precisely one of the hundreds of schemes out there that prey on people's greed. And guess what happened? More than 400,000 people fell for the pyramid scheme because it promised an investment return of 20% monthly. Now this sounds a little bit overboard because 20% monthly would totally wave a huge red flag if you tell that to someone that is financially literate, because even Warren Buffett can only deliver an average annual return of 20% since the 1960s, let alone a fund manager coming out of nowhere. Before you say you will never fall for such an obvious pyramid scheme, there are also many other well-designed schemes equipped with proper product distribution chains which attract thousands of people to join them in the form of MLM companies. Now, I'm not saying all MLM are scams, but the core fundamental of its business model relies on downline recruitment, which usually favors the top 1% rather than the bottom 99%. And studies have shown that 99% of distributors lose money in multi-level marketing, while another report that studied 350 MLMs concluded that more than 99% of the participants lost their money with them. So let me just cut to the chase. If you are venturing into business or entrepreneurship or investments in hope of getting rich quickly without actually understanding financial statements, researching your target audience and ways to address their core problems, you are probably falling for a marketing pitch that preys on your greed. And mind you, I have a friend that is well educated, have a proper master's degree and whatnot, but still fall for such schemes due to the desperation for money. So I hope you are well aware of things like this. The next point I have for you is somewhat related to the previous one, and that is trusting people too easily, which can also financially set you back for years. Just remember this: someday someone will come and pitch to you a super attractive investment scheme that promises good returns with almost no risk. And if that happens, turn your head away and run as fast as you can. That person could be one of your best friends, one of your colleagues, or someone that looks successful from the outside just because they have a picture of them driving a nice car or wearing a nice suit. These are all signs of a salesman trying to land a good first impression on you without even approaching you. And some of them have improvised since the olden days of selling this stuff after they are being exposed on the internet, because today they can be organizing social gatherings or barbecue parties or award ceremonies wearing fancy suits and holding gold medals that cost 4 ringgit each to make. So be extra wary of all of these deceptive tactics. Their modus operandi is more or less the same. They will show you that they are doing well in something. They will start chatting with you about how they overturned their life from being miserable a while ago to being successful today. They will invite you over to a free online conference call or physical gatherings, and ultimately they will provide you an opportunity to join the business by paying some fees. And as time goes on, they will continue to brainwash you again and again and get you more involved so that you are more willing to fork out more money in hopes of better return. And ultimately, you can already guess how it all ends. Remember this: emotions can sway decisions regardless of how well educated you are. A good salesman only needs to pick up that 1% of greed from your reply and snowball that into a perfect pitch and land the deal with you. And as a result, you will pay for something much less valuable than you think it is, and sometimes you get nothing in return. The third mistake one can make is not building a skill, especially before all the life commitments start to kick in. When you are young and not married and hopefully privileged enough to get a standard degrees education and whatnot, you are actually at the prime time in your life to build up your career by trading your time first. Trust me on this one, because I am guilty of this too. We tend to give ourselves the excuse of not having enough time because of work or family commitments. Nothing wrong, because to each of their own, but just to share with you, I started building my YouTube channel while I was working a 9 to 9 job where I will only reach home by 9 PM. Whatever time I have left at night, usually the 4 hours from 10 PM to 2 AM, is where I started working on 2 freelance jobs while simultaneously working on this YouTube channel. And mind you, those 2 freelance jobs only pay me a little bit over 2,000 ringgit every month, but that was enough for me to save up and pay for my initial equipments such as my MacBook Air and my first camera prior to the one I'm using right now. That 2 to 4 hours a day compounded over 2 years have helped me to build up my knowledge and skills in writing a script, talking in front of the camera, editing videos and photos, copywriting, SEO writing, building a website, running a business, building up networks, and so many more. And it's really scary to think that all of that was made possible within the span of 2 years of hard work without selling a single course. And if for some reason I'm laid off by my company and I end up jobless, I have these skills to fall back to, thanks to the little 2 to 4 hours per day of work that I've done for the past 2 years. So what about you? I'm sure you are capable of so many amazing things waiting to be kicked off. And just to sum up this point, the reason why I think not building a skill will set you back financially is because nowadays almost everyone has access to the internet, and by the time you realize that all of your peers are doing well thanks to the internet, be it social media or e-commerce and whatnot, it will be too late to catch up already. The fourth mistake that can set you back financially is accumulating more debts than you can handle. When we talk about debts, it can be categorized into good debts, which usually comes in lower interest rates and can be a leverage tool for you to obtain higher net returns, such as a mortgage, a student loan, and etc. While bad debt, on the other hand, refers to debts with a higher interest rates that brings minimal to zero returns, such as a car loan, credit card debts, and buy now pay later credits. I know it's obvious that having less bad debt would financially be sounder, since you won't be burdened by heavy interest payments that brings minimal return to you. That's correct, but having too much good debt, or just debts in general, to the point that you are living paycheck to paycheck, is almost equally as bad as well. This is because over leveraging while giving no room for your future income to breathe means you are taking too much risk and pushing things to the edge. And the last thing you want is some touchwood unexpected event coming out of the blue, slashing your income power, and that may just tip you over to a late repayment, and that has a very negative impact towards your credit score as well as your future borrowing capabilities. One of my friends was unfortunately someone that has a late repayment history on their credit card debt due to some unforeseen situation, and even when that was years ago already and that debt is cleared a long time ago, they still face issues while talking to bankers when they are trying to secure a mortgage today due to that one late payment history. And as a result, they had to compensate in some other area because the banks graded us using the 5 C's of credit: conditions, capacity, capital, collateral, and character. So for what it's worth, don't let a bad credit history, even if it's just a tiny one, haunt you for life, because it can result in headaches that you will totally regret it when you need to borrow money in the future. The last mistake that you should try to avoid making is not having a medical card. Now, before you think that I'm gonna sell you some insurance or medical card, no, I'm not gonna do that. No links below, and I won't even try to say the names of any of those companies. Just for a record, I'm the kind of person that will skim on insurance and try to avoid it as long as I can. But that obviously changed a little while ago when I got my medical card on my 3rd year of working after graduation. The one I got was bare minimum coverage, where I intend to cover myself from any touchwood accidents or hospitalization at an annual limit of 1.3 mil, and that comes at a monthly premium of 233 ringgit, or roughly 2.8k per year. So if you put them side by side, I'm actually paying 2.8k per year to cover myself for hospitalization expenses of 1.3 mil, and that is essentially a 471 times leverage, which also removes the burden from my immediate family members should anything touchwood happens. Now, if you ask me, I'm no expert in insurance or whatsoever, but what I do know as an investor is that the peace of mind from having such a huge downside protection that allows me to go on with my daily life is well worth the money paid, even if it's not a refundable insurance investment scheme or whatsoever. Do you really need to cover this and cover that to the extent that it creates financial pressure to you? Well, if you ask me, my answer is no. But it still falls down to your current life situation and if you have any dependents and whatnot. So please consult a professional to plan this for you whenever necessary. But don't forget, be mindful of insurance agents upselling you their products because you are just another source of commission to them. So there you have it. I hope this video finds you in time, and I pray that you don't have to go through any of these setbacks, because sometimes it can really haunt you for life, even when we think we are conscious and well informed in various aspects of life. If you have the privilege of not getting screwed by these financial mistakes just like I do, it would be great if you can help share this video out so that your friends and family don't have to go through these financial setbacks in their life, hopefully forever. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay invested, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.